I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Spartan Taco joins us. Hi, Taco.
Hello.
Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Spartan Taco, your favorite adorable taco with no connections to the Eldritch Gods. A variety streamer mostly focusing on horror and survival-like games, but I'll play anything in between.
No connection whatsoever to the gods, the Eldritch Gods whatsoever. No matter what anybody says, there's no connection.
Yep. Completely normal taco.
Completely normal taco, yes. So when did you get started with VTubing?
So I know I first started streaming itself, I think somewhere around September of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know when I first started streaming, I went into it completely blind. Like, I had no idea what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just downloaded the Streamlabs, got a few things set up, and then I just hit live. That was my whole process.
That's definitely jumping into the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, especially for the first year, I was still going to school as well as working a job, so my streaming was very everywhere. Like 1 week I go for a whole week streaming, and then like I drop off for like a month.
Yeah.
It was definitely around year 2 when I actually got like a PNG model. I actually made myself on the Paint app on the computer. I just made a simple taco, and I used that for quite a while.
Yeah. And what is your model now? When did you get that?
Well, for quite a while. So I started using the username Spartan Taco probably somewhere late middle school, I believe. I just really like the name. I love both Spartans and tacos, so I just combined them. And then over time, I kind of just slowly pieced together a figure for who I wanted to be. So I picked a Spartan
Yeah.
with a little bit of Eldritch background and a simple taco.
Wow.
So it'd be Spartan Taco.
There you go. And you're set and ready to go. Was it an easy transition for you, jumping into the pool like that?
It was definitely an experience. Like I said, I went into streaming blind. At the time, I didn't even know what Twitch was. I didn't even know what streaming was. I overheard a conversation my cousins were talking about streaming, so I thought, hey, why not? Why don't I give it a shot? And slowly over time, I just slowly got one piece together, and eventually, I'm here right now.
Yeah. So when you got started, what were the first things you streamed?
Project Zomboid is probably one of my favorite games,
Yeah.
both in survival essence and as a zombie game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fangirl of it. I always love looking at the updates and everything. So that was like one of my first games I streamed on a very broken down desktop. That was almost as old as me.
Yeah. Well, I can see why people get involved with that a lot. I would like to play that myself. It certainly will drag you in, but it would still be so also irritating because you can't like save and go from there.
Oh yeah, I like playing hardcore with that game, and
Yeah.
one of the hardcore things I have is schizophrenia.
Oh,
And there's a schizo attack that can happen, which will appear a zombie in front of you and make your character fall backwards. I've lost 2 runs because of that.
Oh.
A 3-month character and a 2-month character
oh no.
because of it.
Yeah.
But I refuse to take off the trait because it's still so much fun.
With a 3-month character. Now,
Yeah, it was terrible.
and so what did you do to make it to 3 months?
I spawned like in Louisville, which in vanilla is like the biggest map area. It's full of zombies, but I spawned in a mall, which was very well secured, but like I can't even get across the street with the amount of zombies I have in terms of my settings.
Yeah.
So it took me essentially 3 months to finally get to the second block. And in the middle of fighting, I had a schizo attack and fell backwards into the horde.
Oh no.
And I lost it. It was terrible. I was so upset.
Oh man, was there screaming and throwing things?
It was just me sitting at the computer, just watching my now zombified character walk around
Oh, that
for a
would be
good solid 5 minutes.
so irritating. I mean, so when you were able to last that long though in the game, did you create your own food supply, or Was there plenty available in the mall, or?
Well, the mall itself has a decent amount, but I play hardcore, so I put all the settings pretty low. But
Mm,
it's right next to a river for fish, and it also has a farming department in the mall, so
mm,
I have a steady supply of food, but it's always something I have to worry about,
mm. So you,
which always makes a fun challenge.
yeah, but now you did have a little bit of advantage that that was right there. You didn't have to go
Yeah,
searching for it through random houses to try to find a hoe
yeah.
and to go for it. What's the longest you've lasted in that game?
The longest I've lasted, this was before the 3D update
Mm-hmm.
that came, I don't know, I think 3 updates ago, 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I survived. I just got to 6 months, I believe,
Mm.
and the game had an update. So when I got on my save file, it updated the world, and when I opened the door to my base, it had a house alarm on it, which ended up carrying every zombie in the vicinity,
Oh
which
man.
which then caught on fire due to the campfire I had and burnt my base to the ground.
Oh.
So that was my first 6 month character.
Oh man, that's not fair at all.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I would be really, really angry at that point. So when you did that, did you obviously would have had to have a farm area and a pretty good base. Were you outside of town? Where were you set up at?
At that time, I was at a place called Maldrag, and I was at a house literally just on the outside that has a wooden fence.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty nice spot,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not a nice spot if you're playing on insane zombies, which I
Mm.
was at the time,
Oh boy.
which was the reason for my downfall.
Ah, you're not making it easy on yourself.
Oh, and not by any means, but
Well,
that's what I enjoy, having
yeah,
a good challenge and learning from each run.
yeah. So what other games are you into right now?
As of right now, I've been going in between like Lethal Company. I've been playing a little bit of Payday 2, Ready or Not, Dead Space. I go in between a lot of games.
Mm-hmm. So it's not like one game constantly for several weeks at a time.
Yeah, I do know I was having trouble with Zomboid for a while in terms of running on my computer, but I was
Mm-hmm.
finally able to get it to work. So I kind of got excited and ended up playing like a whole week straight of nothing but Zomboid.
Mm-hmm. So and it's so you did do that for a while, but the how about the folks who are watching? Obviously, Zomboid is a game that really does draw a pretty good audience.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, so you were able to get folks that stick around through all the different games that you do play.
Yeah, I do have a pretty small community that does enjoy my suffering on that game.
Mm. Suffering. So
That's
you
pretty
say
much what it is.
so you do play other games other than the zombie games you mentioned. What other types of games will you stream?
I know I've been playing on and off Fallout New Vegas,
Mm.
and I just finished the remaster of Dead Space 1.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
So I've been going in between a few games here and there.
So where are you at right now on New Vegas?
I just finished the Honest Hearts DLC, I
Mm.
believe.
Okay. Yeah, I've played that a few times and played it legally and played it with cheats and
Yeah,
played
I'm playing with I think a hardcore mod, which just adds a whole bunch of new enemies and stuff.
yeah. Did you try the wild mod?
Wild Wasteland perk?
Yeah, the Wild Wasteland perk.
Yeah, I take it every run because it's always funny to see the interactions.
Yeah, it is pretty weird when that goes. I tell you that the one that I haven't been able to get into as far as that game goes is the casino one. I just it just
Oh,
doesn't interest me.
Dead Money, I believe.
Yeah, Dead Money. It just doesn't click with me. All the other ones do, but that one just I
Yeah, that one's definitely a unique one
yeah.
in that matter.
Yeah, but I enjoy the other ones to bits. I've played it over and over and over again. Try to get every little bit on the map.
Hmm.
That how much I enjoy that. And in Fallout 3, I can't get Fallout 4 to work yet, so I don't have a
Oh,
computer big enough for that, unfortunately. But we'll try that. But the as far as your streaming goes, do you have a regular streaming schedule?
I try to stream Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday and Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and then Sunday's usually a 50-50 if I
Mm-hmm.
can stream.
Mm-hmm.
Usually
And
around like 6 9:30 EST time zone.
Yeah. And you got a pretty regular bunch of folks at show?
Yeah, I got about probably 4 or 5 regulars that show up quite often.
Hmm. Have you been able to do much collaboration?
I have actually been able to do quite a few collabs with some people. I know when I first started, I was really open to just joining random collabs, but
Hmm.
after a couple bad collabs, I started only really doing collabs with people I collabed in the past with or know.
Hmm. So what? So
But I still do the occasion.
yeah, if you don't mind saying, what was the problem with the collaborations? It just didn't clash, didn't mesh well.
Well, I know a lot of new VTubers. A lot of them are still pretty young, especially like still in school and stuff. I'm a little older,
Uh-huh.
so a lot of them still have a kind of bad humor at times and sometimes mess stuff up with the game,
Uh-huh.
which causes other people to get mad.
Oh yeah.
So it's mostly just things that go bad that way.
Okay. Well, just sometimes too, it doesn't matter what type of thing you're doing, that you work with somebody else and it just doesn't mesh, and it's nobody's fault.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. Even the best laid plans sometimes don't work as far as that goes. But you,
Yeah, sometimes it just goes like that.
yeah. So do you have a good few folks that you can rely on if you want to do more collaborations?
Oh yeah, definitely. I do got at least probably 5 or 6,
Mm.
maybe 7 people I know for sure I can trust in terms of a collab.
Cool. That's excellent. That's good to have that ready to go by in case you just want to go, and maybe somebody else wants to go.
Hmm.
Which games do you like to collaborate on the most?
Lethal Company is by far my favorite to collab with, especially getting a lot of the fun mods, monster mods, and Brutal Company mod. It definitely makes the gameplay very fun.
Now, you said that I know the monster mods. What was the other mod you mentioned?
It's called Brutal Company. Pretty much ramps up the monsters and ha adds a whole bunch of different effects. So
Oh,
like one day it could be simple monsters, another day it could be straight up constant lightning.
oh, yeah. That's fun to watch people go out and get immediately destroyed by lightning.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I was climbing a ladder going into one of the buildings and it struck me before I even got to the top of the ladder. It was definitely funny.
With that those modifications, more than lot, it none of those probably make it easier to play, I imagine.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah. So there's so what do you do with the do you just try to avoid the monsters as much as possible, or
You just try and go how you can. Try and grab what's scrap and pray that they're not fast as you.
there really isn't much way to get rid of the monsters once they show up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hitting them with a stop sign doesn't always do much.
Yeah, especially when that thing runs at like 50 miles an hour.
Bong, dead. But the what other games do you like to stream with other people?
Besides Lethal Company, I know I've been streaming occasionally Payday 2 with some of my cousins.
Hmm.
And then I know in the past I played Ready or Not with a couple people.
Yeah. Payday 2 is like a if I remember
Uh,
correctly, thievery type game.
it's like I say RPG bank robbing
Yeah,
game,
yeah,
more or less.
yeah. And this is Payday 2 you're talking about. So, what's the gameplay like in that one?
Pretty much 4 characters, and then you can get special skills depending on your build. And essentially, you either rob banks, you hunt certain people. It's a like mission to mission.
Mm. So you kind of build your gang in a way
Yeah, you get like certain people, they can have certain skills, and then you essentially do a heist and try and complete the mission.
without dying or getting.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
get?
without getting hammered.
Yeah. Can you actually get caught rather than die in that game?
Yeah, you get arrested, and you have to. Usually, they have to trade you for a hostage to get you back
Mm.
to respawn per se.
Wow. Okay. So they have to take a hostage first, and then trade it for you. That's interesting. It certainly gets kind of around the respawning type of thing. It makes it a little bit more realistic. But if you're dead, you're dead, I imagine.
Yeah, especially when there's no one to trade you.
Uh, that sounds like that would be a fun game to get involved with. How many people do you have to collaborate in that game?
At most it's usually four people. That's
Hmm.
like a full team, but
Hmm.
you can either do like one person, two people, or just three.
Hmm. And will the computer add people to it, or do you just go with the two
You
you
can have
have?
like an open lobby, or they can just join off your friends list.
Mm,
So they
okay.
can just join anytime during the game
Mm.
or during the heist.
So when you've done the open lobby, have you done that open lobby before?
I've done a friend lobby, but I usually don't play too much on public lobbies. It's an older game, so you do run into hackers quite often.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's no fun either way. Whether it helps you or not, it really isn't that much fun.
Mm,
And then you run into people that you don't want to run into in the first place, um,
yeah.
just making it miserable for everybody. As far as your interactions with chat, have you found that easy from the start?
More or less. I guess I got pretty lucky and haven't really had too much bad interaction with people in chat.
Hmm. So when you started, and you had people hanging around, and are you able to, with these games that you're playing, keep them involved in the game, or is it tough for you to do that and still maintain what you're trying to do?
I will say it's kind of like a 50-50. Like, if I have a set goal on the game, then it's pretty easy to voice what I'm saying
Hmm.
to chat as well, and then also try and keep a conversation.
Hmm.
But every once in a while, you just hit that thing of you just don't know what to say.
Mm. Yeah, well, that's true. And sometimes chat will
Mm.
give you something and you don't know what to say.
Oh, quite often. Sometimes they just say something really weird in chat, and I'm just looking at it, trying to process what they just said.
In the meantime, your character is getting run over by a train.
Pretty much.
Some of those games really don't let you get involved with chat too much. Um,
Yeah, there's some games like that.
well, uh, you can do it a little bit with New Vegas if you get the right place, but not if you're out in the middle of a field and you've got one of those big giant uh, bugs coming at you full speed. You don't want
Oh
to
yeah.
you don't want to deal with that, or raiders or something along those lines. Um,
Yeah, sometimes you gotta focus.
yeah, and just put them out of your head for a little bit. They'll come back. What games would you like to put on that you haven't put on yet on your streams?
Hmm. I know there are some upcoming games I want to take a look at. I know, like I said, Project Zomboid is a big thing for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm mostly waiting because there's gonna be a big update, Build 42, coming soon, which
Mm.
is like a whole full revamp of the game.
Wow.
So I am looking forward to that when that comes out.
Mm-hmm. Any just new games on the horizon?
I've been seeing a couple horror games. Like, I believe there was one Still Wake Deep, I believe it was called. You're like on an oil rig being chased by a monster.
Oh.
I want to try that one out.
Mm. I'm glad we don't have to do that in real life.
Oh yeah.
It's bad enough having nightmares about that stuff, but uh, that it sounds like something that you'd be in. What is there a horror game that you wouldn't play?
Um, I mean, in the past, I played a horror game called Madison, which was pretty, when I first played it, pretty scary.
Uh-huh.
But I think I'm able to desensitize myself pretty quickly when it comes to a lot of horror stuff,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part.
Yeah.
So after I beat it the first time, doing it the second time was like just a really quick run through.
Mm. So is what about jump scares? Do they bother you very much?
Every once in a while, but sometimes when you're playing a game, you kind of just expect it and it doesn't bother too much. But if it's like constantly jump scaring, it gets to a point where it's less scary and just annoying.
Mm. Yeah, that would. I mean, if I were into the horror type games and I'd have that every couple of minutes, it kind of takes the scare out of the jump scare. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
there he is again. But do you ever get stuck in these games where you might have a puzzle or something you're supposed to get and you're not able to finish it?
Oh, for sure. I am terrible at puzzles
Well,
so badly. I
well,
remember being playing Madison and there was this clock puzzle, and I spent like half an hour trying to figure it out. Like, I legitimately had to look up a guide, and the guide was confusing me.
Yeah.
But I was able to figure it out after a while.
Yeah, that's even worse when you actually have the answer online and you don't understand the
And,
answer.
and it just doesn't make sense.
Wait a minute, there isn't a blue thing here. What? And then you find out it's like a game for a different system. It isn't quite exactly the same as yours.
Yeah.
But the as far as the toughest game you've had, as far as horror games are concerned, which one ranks as number one tough one for you?
In terms of horror games,
Yeah.
uh, I know Madison was definitely up there. I haven't played too many horror games. I know I remember playing Observation Duty,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't say that was severely scary.
Well.
I know I play a lot of games with like horror aspect, but it's not more or less considered a horror game.
Hmm. So which one of those do you think is the toughest?
Hmm. Definitely, probably I'm gonna have to go with Madison for now.
Hmm. Because you're still traumatized from the first time you played it.
Yeah, the first time I played it definitely was. It had a really deep horror atmosphere to it, and I,
Yeah.
I remember one scene where you had to be in a sewer trying to take a picture of a monster, and
Hmm.
every time you did it, you just see this giant beast running around you. It actually was quite scary.
Just smile and say, wave to the camera, monster.
Pretty much, it was a scary event.
And then it kills you. That's that's not so much a quick time event as a quick death event. Uh,
Yeah.
get out of there in a hurry. So, as far as the channel is it going the way you want it to? Are there any things you really want to improve on?
I do have to say I do procrastinate quite often, so when I do want to set stuff up, it takes me forever to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm not exactly the most tech savvy when it comes to things, so
Right.
I got like a lot of videos just like bookmarked because I forget how to set them up. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have a text to speech redeem on my stream. I straight up do not remember how I set it up. Like I actually can't remember how it's set up, but it works, and that's all that matters with me.
It works. I don't know how it works, but it works.
Yep.
As long as it works, I don't care how it's made. That's the way old people look at things too, like me. It's like, I don't know how this phone works. It just works.
Hmm.
I hit the button and it goes. It's an absolute pleasure to talk with you, Taco, and I hope that you got things rolling along the way you want. Have you got any big goals plans for your channel here coming up?
As of right now, nothing too big, but I do got a couple things I want to start getting, like some new animated art and transition scenes,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully in the future like a new 2.0 model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know I'm currently looking into how to do like a hand can stream because I want to try like a cooking stream at some point.
Oh, what are you gonna cook?
I was looking like on some. It was actually on TikTok. I was just like scrolling through random videos, and it was a video of the hardtack, the bread used for ships
Oh
that
yeah,
will
yeah,
go long journeys. And I
yeah.
thought I want to try and make that. And why
Oh,
don't I try doing a hand cam stream in the process?
oh my. I think pretty much anything when I was younger and a bachelor, I tried to cook ended up being that. Whether it
Yeah,
was,
I'm not the best cook because when I was younger, I almost burnt my house down trying to cook bacon.
oh yeah, I did
So
that. I did
definitely
that
gonna
during
be.
toast.
Yeah.
I managed to set toasters on fire on consecutive days.
Yeah, I managed to burn the bacon so badly that it actively turned to ash in the pan.
Wow. Well, you got me beat there.
Yeah, in my defense, I was watching SpongeBob, so
Oh
I kind of
well.
got distracted.
Oh yeah.
I was 10 at the time.
Yeah. I think I might have still eaten the bacon though.
Yeah, I got to go out to eat to get food after my mom smacked me over the head.
She didn't hit you with a pan, did she?
No, but she smacked me pretty good.
Well, I'm glad you got things going here, Taco, and I appreciate you coming on. When you got some of these big events coming up, like you get that 2.0 and things, you let me know and we'll do an update for you, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.